What's going on, everybody? I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Welcome back to yet another video. Today, we're going to be talking all about the 60-volt battery-powered line from the Toro company. More specifically, we're going to be talking about the three main pieces of equipment that we use to maintain a well-manicured lawn on a week-to-week basis, and that is going to be the mower, the trimmer, and the blower. Now, before we get into this, I actually have an epic B-roll sequence that I shot yesterday of all of this equipment in use out on the field. So with further ado, let's roll that B-roll. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did making that, because I'm going to be honest with you, I had a super fun time doing that. Got a little creative there. Anyway, I want to go ahead and give you guys a little update on the lawn here, and I also want to take a second just to admire how green my back lawn is. As a matter of fact, I hit it with an application of 1801 Green Punch from the Next Fertility line about a week ago, and I actually did a video on that as well, explaining all the details behind it. If you want to see that, I will leave it here in the eye in the top right corner, as well as a link in the description below. Great video to watch, even if you don't use the Next Fertility products, because within that video, I also talk about 3 telltale indicators that you can use to figure out when it's time to start fertilizing that lawn. So once again, if you want to see that, I will leave that here in the eye in the top right corner, as well as linked in the description below. Alright, so what do I like about the Toro 60-volt line as a whole? One thing I like about them is it's a very flexible line. And what I mean by that is because every piece of equipment within this line is part of the same line, you can actually use the batteries interchangeably in different pieces of equipment. So let's put this into perspective for a second. You're mowing the lawn and your battery dies. What do? Well, pretty simple. If you have multiple pieces of equipment with multiple batteries, you go take a battery from another piece of equipment, slap it in the mower, you're good to go, and you're able to finish mowing strong. So I think that's very beneficial in the fact that if you decide to purchase multiple pieces of equipment with multiple batteries, the fact that you can use all of the batteries interchangeably. So that's pretty cool there. Now, I want to go ahead and narrow it down to the line that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the lawn maintenance stuff, right? The mower, the trimmer, and the blower. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the trimmer and the blower, because honestly, it doesn't take a whole lot to make a consumer happy with a battery-powered trimmer and a blower. More so, it's just as long as it works good, as long as it adds power, as long as it has a clean cut, we're good to go, right? We're going to spend most of our time on the mower, because the mower is really the most controversial of the group, because it's really the one that dictates whether or not you want to switch to battery, because the mower, it takes up a bulk of the time. It maintains a bulk of the real estate, if you will. Now, actually, if you think about it, the hedge trimmer probably takes up more time depending on your skill level, but that's another video for another time. Today we're talking about matters of the lawn, right? The mower depending on your situation, probably takes up most of the battery time, and once again maintains a bulk of the real estate. So that's the one we're going to primarily focus on. But first, a couple of things I like about the handheld tools. Let's talk about those. So first up, let's go ahead and talk about the trimmer. I really like the trimmer. It leaves a nice clean cut. Now I will say this, it did take a little bit of a learning curve for me, being that this is my first time using it. And another thing I want to mention with this trimmer is that the head actually spins the opposite way. This isn't new to me. This is actually something I've actually dealt with before. And what I've come to find over the years of just being observant is that all of the trimmers I've used, the MTD brand trimmers, the heads often spin clockwise, whereas the higher end trimmers that you typically get at a dealer, the head spins counterclockwise. And personally, I prefer it spinning counterclockwise because of how it throws the clippings, and well, you get the idea. Anyway, those of you pro trimmers out there, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but what I'm trying to say is that the head spins the opposite direction than what I'm used to. It spins clockwise, right? So it was a bit of a learning curve for me to get used to it, but within 10 to 20 minutes of using it, I did find a groove. I did get into it, and I got to say, as a result, the trimmer did leave a really nice clean cut in a very little amount of time. So very impressed with that. As far as how the trimmer does in overgrown stuff, that's a test that'll probably come later, but in the meantime, we're just testing it in regular weekly maintenance, and as you saw, it did real good. So now let's go ahead and talk about the blower. What do I like about it? So not really much I'm going to talk about here besides one feature in particular that I think is really cool, and that is the turbo boost. Basically what it is it's a button on the unit's handle that you can press that will pick up the RPMs whenever you feel that you need a little bit more power, right? Like when you're blowing out landscape beds like you see me doing here at my neighbor's house. You need that extra power to get stuff out of bushes. It's an awesome feature because it provides you enough power to get through things fluently, and on top of that, it's very conservative too. It's a great way to conserve power because if you think about it, you're only using that extra power when you feel you need it, which in my opinion is very efficient. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the mower. So right out of the box, a couple of things I like about the mower are going to be, number one, the personal pace. That's probably by far one of my favorite features. For those who don't know, the personal pace, basically what it does is it caters the self-propulsion speed to how fast you walk. The faster you walk, the more force you give on the handle, the faster the self-propulsion is going to work, thus catering to your speed, which I think is pretty awesome, and as my buddy Alan Hain has mentioned, a very leisure way to mow, so very cool. And on top of that, another feature I really like is the mulch plug switch that's actually on the mower. It has a built-in mulch plug that you can activate by the flip of a switch. You put the switch down, it mulches, you put the switch up, it bags. That's pretty awesome. And one reason I like this is because if I wanted to say keep the bag on there and not use the bag just because it looks cool, and really there's really no other reason why, you just keep the bag on, right? Because you're OCD like me and you want things to look put together. Yeah, that's just pretty cool. Like, I don't know, I guess I would just say that. But anyway, all kidding aside, this mower, it performs really, really well in normal conditions. As you can see in these clips here, this is me doing my third weekly cut on my back lawn. You can see it's doing very, very well, powering through it really nice. And on top of that, it leaves a really clean cut, so A+ there. So one thing I wanted to do to take it up a notch is I actually brought it over to my neighbor's house and I mowed her lawn with it. Now, a little insight about her lawn, it hasn't been mowed since early November. I didn't give it a proper last cut like I was supposed to, so guilty, but the lawn did have a little bit of extra growth on it, and I was a little skeptic on that, on how it was going to do in that overgrowth, because when I heard the motor of the mower, just how it sounded, it didn't sound like it was going to be strong enough to get through it. But to my surprise, as I ran the mower through it, what I came to find is that the longer the turf gets, that it's too long for the mower to handle, the RPMs automatically pick up. So that's actually pretty cool. It has like a built-in sensor that will automatically activate when the mower feels that it has too much going on under the deck. It'll pick up those RPMs and it will allow you to maintain that cleaner cut even in the overgrowth. it goes back to what I was saying earlier, like with the leaf blower, you're only using that extra power when you need it. Now this one, you don't control it, right? It's an automated sensor, but like I said, it's a great way to conserve power and only save it for when you need it. So once again, Toro, very impressed there. Great job. Alright, so one last test I wanted to give this mower for my first try here is I wanted to try it out in some overgrowth, or some overkill, I guess would be the best way to say it, because we are coming out of winter, we are coming into the spring, and we often do have a lot of areas in the lawns that we just neglect and let leaves accumulate in and overgrow and all kinds of things, right? So that's exactly what this next test is going to be. You could see this is my neighbor's house here. This is on the side of her house. She's got a little bit of overgrowth, a lot of leaves, and I just wanted to run the mower through here and see how it would do. And as you can see, it is doing very well. It's powering through it, albeit it is bogging down a little bit, which can be a little bit of a concern, but it's not really something that I can critique this mower on, as it is a common problem that we have to deal with a lot of mowers, right? Because with a lot of mowers, especially the Toro mowers, the great mowers, but they have their limits, right? And what I mean by that is when you run them through overkill, like you see me running over here, they're going to do okay, but they're probably not going to be able to do it to the best of their ability, because that's not what they're made for, right? They're made for weekly maintenance on lawns with little to no debris. So for that, I would have to say it did okay, but then again, not a fair judgment, because it's a common problem that we run into with all push mowers, as they do have a limit in this regard. And then one more thing I want to touch on while you're watching me mow this overgrown area over here is that I am on my last 1 to 2% of power here. So at this point, you're literally going to see what happens with the mower when it shuts off. Check it out. So as you can see, right, when the mower approaches the end of its charge, there's no lag at the end or anything, right? It just shuts off and that's it. Now, to some of you, that may hurt you a little bit, especially if you only have one battery, because let's say you mowed your lawn and maybe you didn't charge it last time, you're near the end of the charge, and you literally have like that last strip you have to get, right? You have like 2-3 more lines to go and you're done, and then all of a sudden, boom, the mower dies, right? So in a way that can kind of hurt you, because if you only have one battery and just the mower, the one problem you might run into is having to wait another hour for the battery to charge, whereas with a gas-powered mower, you just put gas in the mower. There is kind of a drawback there, but then again, it really depends on what you purchase and how many batteries you get with the units. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. And with that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have a ton of awesome content coming up on this channel. Everything from product reviews like this to lawn care tips that'll help you get the deepest, darkest, greenest, thickest lawn on the block. With that, I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. If I don't see you guys next time, your lawn is going to be dominated. See you later.